Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
Victor, you're back on May 18th, man. It's been a while. How do you feel about being back and you're facing off against Tom Nolan, a guy that has a lot of hype coming out of Australia? What do you think of the matchup?
I like the matchup. I mean, at this point in my career, I can't like be picking and stuff, you know. So uh, I'm just happy that they're giving me another opportunity because of my last performance, you know. So um, I feel good. I feel confident, you know. I'm not saying it's gonna be an easy fight, but man, when I'm on top of my game, I don't think I'm an easy fight either, you know. And I've been training hard, and I'm more motivated. I'm confident. There was a lot of things going into that last fight, and I'm not trying to make excuses. It was more me mental, you know. And I feel like me being there already once will help me out going into this next one, you know. And but yeah, I mean, I feel good with the matchup. You know, I know he's what 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
He's a little taller than I am. Well, a lot taller than I am. You know, but uh, but I mean, I've always fought guys that are either bigger than me or taller than I am. So I'm just looking forward to the challenge and just seeing how it comes out. You know.
Yeah, yeah. You know, they call you Vic the Brick for a reason, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, right. And I think this matchup is going to allow you to be that guy, the guy that we seen on, the regional scene, the guy that we seen on Contender Series. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah, I really do. I actually, I know he likes to stand up. You know, I've been working everything though. You know, I'm not just focusing on my stand up. I'm focusing on everything. But but man, like you said, you know, I really feel like me and my own goal, my own personal goal in my head. I'm trying to break my own record. You know, and I feel like this is the fight that is gonna do that for me.
All right. And let's rewind a little bit, what I mean, with your career. You fought once since the Contender Series. Contender Series happened in what, 2021, right? So there was a lot of things that happen in your life, but let's talk about the firefighting situation for you. Tell us what's going on with that.
So I fought 2021 Contender Series. I got signed, and I had my firefighter license since back in 2018, but I just wanted to focus on getting into the UFC first, you know, before getting a job. So I would just renew my license every year, and I got signed to the UFC 2021 after Contender, and then I was okay. I already made this goal happen. Let me try to get a job somewhere now. So I started applying at different cities, and Hidalgo Fire Department picked me up, and and yeah, well, I mean, everything kind of fell into place. You know, I got picked up by the UFC, and then I got hired as a firefighter. So I like the way my schedule works. You know, I'm still able to train and fight and compete, and it gives me time to do that. And then when I'm at work, well, I focus on work. You know.
Yeah, man. And I'm pretty sure there's massive support because firefighters, there's a lot of like commonality, like things that you guys have in common. I guess you could talk with other firefighters about, and even with the fighting as well.
Yeah, man, I get along with everybody there at the fire department, you know, and they all support me. My chief, Chief Rojas, he supports me a lot, and man, I just love the fact that they're all willing to help me and support me as I'm getting ready for my fight, you know.
Yeah, that's great. And
And sorry, but sorry to cut you off, but I know there's other UFC fighters that also are firefighters as well, you know. Everybody knows Stipe Miocic is a firefighter as well. But I mean, I'm sure there's other firefighters that I've heard that were on the roster as well.
yeah, for sure, man. It's not a long list though, man. It's a small list. I mean, you're one of the few. Um, yeah, let's talk about the UFC debut, man, against Jordan Levitt. I'm pretty sure you're disappointed. Just give us the whole story. Like what happened before, during, after. Take us through it.
Uh, I mean, training wise and getting ready for that fight was everything was good. You know, I can't say that. Oh, I mean, I don't want to be making excuses. I lost. He beat me. I'm gonna take the L. You know, but um, I feel like me mentally, I just being there in the cage seeing the UFC on my gloves and all that. I think all a little bit got to me, um, and it just kind of messed with my head, you know. But it didn't let me showcase what I can do. That's what I'm trying to say. But like I said, like I'm glad I was already there. I experienced it, and I felt going in there to it was going to be similar to the Contender Series. You know, I felt like the Contender Series was a little bit more nerve wracking because it's like, all right, this is it. This is the one that's going to get me in there. I cannot drop the ball here. But I didn't feel as nervous as I did for my first UFC fight in the Contender. You know, but I mean, I'm not gonna say that like I'm not nervous right now because I get nervous for every fight. You know, it's just I feel like it's normal. But uh, but I'm glad that I experienced it already, and I'm just ready to get in there and showcase what I can do. You know, like show who I really am. Not, I feel like I left like a bad taste in my mouth with my last performance. You know, and I feel like I can do better than that, and I know I will do better than that this next fight.
After that fight, you were matched up against Trevor Peek, another phenomenal matchup for you. I was like waiting for that fight to happen, but you had to withdraw. What was going on with that?
The way things were going with me trying to get looking for a job and stuff, my coach was like, my coach Safe from Dallas, he was like, you know what, let's pull back a little bit, let's wait, let's not rush you into this next one. Um, but I thought it was a good matchup too. You know, he thought it was a good matchup. Diego thought it was a good matchup. I would like to get that one back if everything goes good, God willing. After this next fight, I would like to I would like to fight him. You know, hopefully they could schedule us. I know he just fought recently and he won his fight. And But yeah, I mean, after my first UFC fight, I was trying to get hired somewhere as a firefighter, and well, my coach was like, well, let's not move too quickly. You know, let's take a little break, focus on what you got to do, keep training, keep getting ready, and then we'll get you something later on down the line instead of rushing it. You know, so he ended up pulling me. Uh, I was getting ready for that one too as well, and I had like a little injury in my knee as well. So training also kind of flared it back up. So he that's another reason why he was like, let's just slow it down a bit. You know, let your knee heal completely, and well, yeah, I mean that's what happened. I was looking forward to that Trevor Peak fight. You know, I think that's a good matchup as well. Um, just a good fight. I'm not saying good matchup as in like, oh, I beat him or trying to come off like that. But I think it was a good matchup for us. You know, I think it would have been a fun fight. You know, but going into this one, my knees is 100%. Uh, I've kept up with it. I've done what I had to do, and I took a year off from competing. So like I feel confident with it going into this next one.
Do you feel like, if you didn't have your firefighter job, a stable job, that maybe you would have took that fight, because of financial reasons? You know what I mean? Do you feel like the firefighter job allows you to maybe make a smarter decisions in your career?
Okay, so going to that, I was gonna talk about that because uh, man, I felt every fight before I got this firefighter job, like in the Contender Series, I felt a lot of pressure, you know, and going into the my first UFC fight, I felt even more pressure on that one because it's like, man, I can't blow this, you know, it's my first UFC fight, and I didn't have a stable job, like you said, and I was working at gyms, you know, doing privates here and there, just trying to make some cash, and I had a lot of pressure on myself. Like, man, I gotta win this fight because I gotta make this money. Uh, so I feel like I put all that pressure on myself going into my first UFC fight, and I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about the check. I was just thinking about the money. I wasn't enjoying training as much anymore. I was kind of just like, man, like I'm broke. You know, I gotta win this next fight. I gotta make it happen so I can get this cash and I can be okay for a while. Uh, And well, my main thing is my mom. You know, I'm always trying to help her out. You know, that's been my main goal, always to help her out as much as I can. And like I said, like all that build up, and it just made me freeze up in the fight. You know, going into this next one, now that I have this job and I'm more stable, I don't have to worry about all that. I've actually been enjoying training. I actually like going to training now, and like, all right, today I got to do this, I got to do that. My go to my strength and conditioning coach at with Cavazos Sports Institute, and go to the boxing gym with Rubaldino, and go to Diego's gym, Team Ferreira. Make trips up there to Dallas to Fortis. I'm enjoying it again. I feel like my first UFC fight, I was kind of like too stressed out about it. Like I put too much on myself, I feel.
Yeah, for sure, man. It happens all the time, man. You're not alone, man. I've talked to fighters, about that, and yeah, you just get over the hump, man. And that's what's great about fighting is you got the next one coming up.
Yeah.
Going back to Tom Nolan, he's coming off his first loss of his career, and it's on the UFC stage as well. He was knocked out in the first round. You started your career off with two straight losses, right? How did you handle that?
Man, I took like my in the regional scene. I mean, I took it kind of hard, but I mean, I didn't. Uh, I don't. I wouldn't say I took it as hard as I did my first UFC fight. But I took it hard, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to pursue that to begin with. So to me, it was just for fun. I was like, okay, well, I lost my first two fights. In my mind, it wasn't. In my mind, I wasn't thinking I want to be in the UFC. And to begin with, and to start off with, I never even thought I could be at this level that I'm at. It just kind of flared into it, and I'm happy it did, and I'm glad, and I love doing what I do, and I love being in this position, and I'm grateful for it, right? But when I lost my first UFC fight, I felt like I took it a little bit harder than when I lost my first two fights in the regional scene, but I mean, after I lost those two fights, I mean, I went on a streak, and that's another thing that I was thinking about too after my first loss, well, to Levitt. Uh, I was like, man, okay, but like I've been here before. I've lost. I know I went on a streak after my first two losses. So I mean, maybe this is the beginning of something of a streak for me. I still been training hard. I still been going at it. Training with Diego here, back at home, making trips up to Fortis. When my job allows me to. Um, so I just feel like everything's kind of falling into place for me right now. I'm 32. I 33 this year, and I just feel slowly everything's just kind of the bricks are falling into place, and man, and I just gotta like thank God for that, all that, because I feel like He's lining everything up for me the right way, and that's another thing that I've kind of like done is like just be patient, and I know everything always works out for the best, and I know He has His best interest in me, and uh, I just I just feel like something good is gonna come out of all this. I got my job that I'm super grateful for, and I feel like okay, I lost my first UFC fight, but maybe I needed that, or maybe I needed that to kind of boost me up for that next one.
Yeah, and it seems like training camp is like normal. You know what I mean? You work with Diego with your team there, and then you guys go up to Fortis and get your sparring and everything, extra coaching as well. Your head coach. Anything changes? You mentioned the boxing coach. You mentioned strength and conditioning. Those always been part of your routine for camp?
Training my strength and conditioning has always been there, but not the way it has been lately. Now I'm training at Cavazo Sports Institute. And he's been doing that for years, and he's really I feel like going there has really upped my game, and I just been focusing a lot on getting my trainings in with him. I try not to miss. It's kind of hard sometimes because I get out of work. I like my main training that I cannot miss is my MMA. I like for sure I gotta go do that one. So that one comes first. My boxing at the boxing gym, Robaldino's. I've been doing that since Fury, since I won the title. Yeah, he's been with me since then. I also have my boxing coach at Diego's gym, Coach Rick Avendaño. So if I can't make it out to Robaldino's gym, I'll get my boxing training with Coach Rick at Diego's gym. Um, and well, yeah, I mean, this is the first camp that Cavazos has been with me. So I know he's excited to see how all the work that we've been putting in, how it looks, and I'm excited for it too. So we just gotta wait for 4 more weeks.
Dude, it feels like you're more free entering this fight, like mentally more free. Like you can be yourself. Like you mentioned, the pressure. You know what I mean? That's crazy, dude, to have a pressure like that.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? It's only like people who fight, I guess. Well, I mean, I've only experienced it with other fighters. Like I've experienced it with my coach, with Diego. You know, we've had talks like that before, where I know he's put a lot of pressure on himself, certain, and not with this one coming up or whatever, but like in the past, you know, and we've talked, and I'm glad that I have him here, and I can talk, I have those talks with him, and he can kind of just ease my mind and shit, and I know he's been there before, so he knows what I'm talking about when I open up like that to him and stuff, but like I said, like I'm just glad that, and his gym's doing great too. So I know that pressure's off of him, you know, because he has his gym, you know, and his gym's always been doing really good. And I'm just glad that I got my job going on the side as well. That it's been helping me out, and that I'm super grateful for.
You like fighting in the Apex?
Well, I haven't experienced the arena yet, like a big arena in the U. So I mean, I can't say that I don't, but it was different fighting in the UFC in the Apex than the Contender Series in the Apex, because it was just quiet. You know, it was too quiet when it was Contender Series. The when it was the UFC, there was a little bit of people in there and stuff. But man, hopefully, God willing, everything goes good this fight, and I can finally experience the real thing. You know what I mean? The arena, the fans yelling and stuff. You know, it's been a while since I fought like that. Last time I fought like that was when I fought in Combate Americas here at home in Hidalgo, and with fans is what I'm trying to say. You know, like with the bleach, with the full of people and stuff. It's been a while since I've experienced that, so man, I can't wait for the day to experience that in the UFC. I'm sure it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, man. They always go back to Texas too, man. It seems like a couple times a year. So
Yeah, back hard.
yeah.
You know, if it's good for me and everything, man, that'd be something that I would like to ask for, you know, to fight on a Texas card here at home.
With this fight against Tom Nolan, what are your expectations out of yourself? Like, what do you want to show yourself? What do you want to show your coaches, your teammates, the fans?
I mean, I want to show who I really am. You know, uh, I've met so much people, uh, and to be honest with you, I really don't even care what people think about about how I fight and stuff like that. Man, I'm the one that's in there. You know what I mean? But I've met so many people after my first UFC fight that's all they've seen. You know what I mean? It's like, man, like you guys don't know how what I can do. You guys don't know how I compete in there, you know. And I know I could do better. I know I could perform better. But it's not so much for them. It's more for me and for my coaches. You know, I want to show Coach Safe. I want to show Coach Diego. I want to show Coach Rick, Coach Rocky, my boxing coach. I want to show my coach Cavazos, you know, that all their hard work and everything, all the time that they put in me, that it's gonna pay off, you know, and it's not just a waste of time, you know, and my training partners here, my training partners over there in Fortis, that's more what I'm looking for, you know, that's what I want to do.
May 18th, UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas. Victor, you'll get your chance, man. All the best in the upcoming fight, and yeah, all the best in your career as a firefighter as well. I love seeing that, and helping the community and things like that. You can't get no better.
And I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I do. You know what I mean? I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I signed up for the academy, and man, I love my job. You know, it's cool. It's badass. Like helping people out. You know, and I feel like I've always done that. You know, I've always like I'm either training somebody, helping them out, or I'm always like doing privates with people, helping them out. You know what I mean? So, and then now I'm a firefighter
Yeah.
helping people out in the community. So I mean, I love both my jobs, you know, and I'm grateful for both of them.